Got it?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's get started. Welcome everyone. Plan Weekly, April 29th. I have the first point, just a quick team update. We have an intern, EK. I don't know if I can say full name yet, but anyway, it's EK. Starts on the 11th of May. First week primarily is going to be onboarding. We were going to do like a fast boot type onboarding where they were going to be on site. Of course, that's not happening now, but I think most of the first week will still be the same type of approach. Well, they'll be doing a rapid onboarding primarily with the other interns. A couple other notes. He is in South Korea, which I think is UTC +9. His mentor is going to be Flory. She has been, we've been working to put together a bit of a plan, and she's pretty close to his time zone, which is great. John asked if there's anything we could do to help with onboarding. I'm still working on putting together kind of a formal onboarding process for him. I'm sure there will be some stuff, and I'll make sure to reach out to you all with anything that you can help with.
Yeah, we're onboarding the new plan engineer manager on the 11th as well, so should be interesting. And I don't think we have anyone in the +9 time zone for on call, so I don't know if we want to drop the intern in at the deep end, but yeah, that's cool.
How long are they
South
interning
Korea, very
for?
interesting.
How long?
Yeah.
Is it 3 or 4 months, John?
I thought it was 2 months.
Oh, is
I
it?
could be wrong on that. I can't remember.
All right, well, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 months. But yeah, so he'll primarily be on the working on the front end side. I don't want to say just project management, but it'll probably be more project management type stuff. We haven't determined like a longer term project for him to work on yet, but that's something that I do want to consider. He does have, he's going to school for comp sci, I think. So he has some back end experience also if we want to give him some of that. And yeah, maybe we can go ahead and put him on call right away. That'd be fun. Be a nice experiment.
I wouldn't do that to him.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to demos.
Sorry,
Oh,
I've just checked the handbook and it's 16 weeks.
okay. Cool. This is a good amount of time. All right, demos. Axel, are you on?
Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. So give me a second to share my screen.
I asked Axel to demo this really last minute. I was just going to do it, so we'll see how it goes. And also, this is Axel's first big feature that he worked on, which he did an excellent job, especially considering it ended up being a lot more complex than originally thought. And it involved him having to do some back-end stuff, having to put it through database review, back-end review, and also big thanks to Yarka and Jan who helped out with the back-end side of this feature.
Yes, they help a lot. So we basically have the issues list here that we all know and love. What we did in this case, we have this Epic filter to search by Epic, and what we did here was two things. First was including all of the child epics inside of the list, and we added this icon that basically says that this issue is inside of a child epic of the filter epic. So basically we can, well, in this case, all of the all of the issues are children of this epic. So yeah, basically what we also did was to make sure that this was performant, that this didn't slow down the rest of the queries to actually add this information here. And yeah, it is it is basically it's pretty simple, but it has like a big word behind. Thank
So
you.
if there's results that are in the parent epic and not child epic, so they show up first?
No, they I mean the order is not. Let me try to.
I thought there was one in that one that was like the parent of all of those. Maybe not though.
Yeah, but basically, yeah, the order here, for example, here you can see I direct children of the epic.
Okay.
So I think, and Keenan, you want to talk through some of the next iteration of this, and because we did.
I think, and again, I want to get some additional feedback on it. The main problem here is searching through nested epics. Oftentimes nested epics get created and issues get moved, and folks looking for them don't know that. So we're trying to drive clarity on actually finding items in a nested epic tree, but being clear that there are possible results that are in a epic further down the chain. So I think probably the first iteration would be surfacing or prioritizing the results in the actual parent epic versus the sub epic results. But,
yeah. There was also like
I saw you unmute, I thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
What?
Yeah. I thought I thought I saw you unmute. I was asking if you had a comment.
Oh, I just thought that was I was laughing at one of the issue titles. It was like 5 clicks instead of 175. Just
Okay, never mind. Oh yeah, no, Axel, that looks great. I think I'll get that follow-up item written up. I think this is a good step in that direction.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we also had like some proposition of having like an actual nest inside of this item where you could like expand the rest of the children. But yeah, this is a huge amount of work is done on the back end, so we have a lot of freedom on the front end to make new iterations from this point.
So one thing I wanted to ask is, I think right now you can only filter by one epic, right?
Correct. I think that's true. Yeah, we need to put it on the list.
Well, we have the open issue for doing OR.
Right.
I don't know. I've gone back and forth where I've talked to some customers lately that just want like an advanced view, like an advanced filtering, a search so they can basically write a database query. So
yeah,
we kind of need to go back and I think revisit the filter bar a little bit. So
yeah, no, that's the question, right? We have 2 deviating paths. We continue to advance filtering in the search bar in the way it is now and try to make it better, or we bite the bullet and figure out some sort of JQL type, because that's what we keep getting requests for. Yeah, I don't know the answer.
I'll schedule a time to talk with John McGuire, who's the PM of search, and I'll do that right now, and that way we can just make sure at least we're on the same page with what that team is doing and not overlapping work.
Quick question here. It looks like there's actually the epic number in the search bar. Does that mean if we put a number in the search bar, we'll actually get that issue or epic back currently? Is there a way to do that?
Yes. Yeah. And yeah.
Okay. So if we type in a number in that search bar, it'll just take us to that issue or that epic?
Well, here I was. Yeah, give me a second. That is pretty slow. We have this issue where a lot of epics are loaded here. So.
Okay, so if you type epic equals, you can get there.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Yeah, you can search by the title or by the epic number. But so,
You know, one of the feedback I've gotten from a lot of customers was, how come I can't go to the search bar, type in the number of something, and just be taken to it?
well, I think part of the problem is they have to put in that artifact identifier.
Right.
Right. I think that's one of the hangups folks run into. The other one is the results don't load super fast, and then it's not working. That's what I see.
Actually, a nice
Yeah, it is.
I don't think we need that ampersand, given that we want to search through epics. I mean, I understand that from front-end
Right.
point, we probably want that in order to trigger the
Mhm.
request, but I think we can get rid of that in this specific case, because you know that you want to look through the epics.
Right. If you know the number, like if you know I want to go to 722, if you just
Yeah,
had
in this
722, would it just take you there? And I guess that's the question.
I wonder if
Yeah, in
for
this
that
case-
use case, the problem is entering the number in search or entering the number in the URL. Because like, why wouldn't they just put the Epic ID in the URL if they want to go directly to that
yeah.
Epic page?
And by the way, that's what I answered. That here in the URL you can just drop the number. But yeah, it seems not working here.
Yeah, that's something I noticed also, is because we're loading so many epics. And I think for autocomplete, we load every epic that they're capable of searching for in autocomplete. So it is somewhat slow. I don't think that's something that was caused recently.
No,
I think ever since we added
No, it's always
epics, yeah.
So
Yeah, so we do have a few issues to clean up the autocomplete on filtered search, because it's not just epics that has that issue. Like we
Right.
pull in all of assignees, all user names. So yeah, hopefully that's something we can work on in the next few. I think we might have one issue we're trying to take on in 13.0 to fix some of that.
No, this looks great though. I mean, this whole sub epic thing looks amazing. So definitely a step forward. Thank you.
yeah, good work.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
demoing.
guys.
Cool. Thank you, Axel. Okay, next demo, Flory. Of course, I don't know what time is it there. Let's see. It is 11:45. So of course she's not here. So I'm gonna demo the this one for her. 1 second. Okay, so this one is the raise warning when closing the issue with open blockers. There's the issue. Okay, so we have this issue that is blocked. I'll go ahead and refresh it. And I will attempt to close it. And we get a warning. Yay. I'm not going to close the issue, but it can cancel it, and then it goes away, and it's still open.
Can you do that again? Sorry, I was reading the error. All right, and then that hyperlinks out to the awesome.
To the blocked issue.
This is fantastic.
What is the other option there? Close issue. There is
You can override and close anyway.
Yeah. So you
Yes,
can
close the
close
issue.
issue anyway, or keep it open.
on the close issue, there is a arrow that says that you can like do multiple action other than
Oh
close.
yeah, hover over the close. No. Oh yeah, there.
This is what you're talking
Oh
about.
yeah, that's always been there.
I'm not going to report abuse. You asked hover.
What?
Is that what you're asking?
Oh yeah, so I was just asking, making sure that links out to the issue, and then I thought when he said there was a drop down, I thought I saw it on the yes close issue, but that's just because I haven't had enough coffee. So that's me hallucinating. Don't worry about it.
Like a hover would be nice though, so you don't have to click on it to understand what issue is blocked.
Oh yeah, hover to get a tooltip. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good addition.
That's yeah. But no, this is great.
This is a huge step. Yeah. Yeah, and this is I got a question for Holly, I guess, is is the yellow warning the one we go to, or is that more of a like red UX? Like, I don't know. I think it probably comes to how severe you track blocker or dependencies in as a team.
I think we use the red specifically in warning cases. I mean, the orange, but the red is when a problem has occurred.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I think Nick actually dug into this a bit when he was looking through the design for this to figure this out. Or Holly, did Nick did the design for this, didn't he? Or did you do the design?
I did not do the design for this, so it was probably Nick or Alexis.
Yeah, I think Nick actually asked that specific question. What is the appropriate, coloring, warning symbols, all that, because he was trying to keep it consistent with other areas. And I'm not sure there was a lot of other areas that did something like this, but I think we settled on orange. Again, we can iterate if we're not happy with it.
I think
No, that was more me curious what our standardization is, not necessarily critique.
My understanding was red was when something actually went wrong. Like if you query and couldn't get a result, it would show up as red as like something went wrong. And orange was like, hey, we need your input to continue, but nothing's technically wrong. Just we're also looking at the option of having toast messages for certain things too that pop up on the bottom of the screen. And I know that that's a seldom used feature now, but we're hoping to use it more in some of our requirements management stuff. That like when we add a requirement, it'll have a little toast message that says this requirement's been added. And we're looking at coloring and things for those too, which again is inconsistent currently. So any suggestions, I'm sure Nick would be happy to discuss.
Cool. So awesome job, Flory and Philippe, on the back end of that. All right, moving on. Just wanted us to have a discussion. And I don't know if a decision's made on this or not, but it did come up on whether, because we're adding the concept of sprints, and they were originally called sprints, but then we had some conversations around whether it's iterations, and I linked to a little bit of that discussion in Slack there. Do we have a decision? Are we calling it sprints or iterations?
It's iterations.
Okay. So we should update everything because we have a few issues that refer to it as sprints.
Yes.
And I don't know if we have what we call them on the back end. If we call them sprints, but we may want to go ahead and change that now while we're still early on in the development process.
I will
I think
update
we
the
have
issues. So.
Yeah, I think we have called it sprints on the back end, and then I think like that's different for us versus for the people we build things for, right? Like, I mean, most Scrum teams will continue to call them sprints for a while, probably and possibly indefinitely.
Yeah, so sprints are a subset of an iteration, basically, in like lingo speak, but an iteration is more inclusive of broader methodology. So like I did extreme programming before coming to GitLab, and we called them iterations, not sprints. And also, just from like a thing, you can't sprint indefinitely, which is like the definition of sprint is going as fast as you can. And I don't think that's sustainable. So I'd rather have something that's more sustainable as a construct in our product, which an iteration is. So
right, and then we get it gets the theme well with our value structure and a lot of the language that we use. I think we do then need to be cognizant of the common issue that comes up where, we're going to have to say, manage your sprints with GitLab's new iteration feature, much like, a lot of customers hear issues and they automatically think, oh, that means bugs. It's like, oh no, it's ticket stories, whatever you want. I think it's just when we get to the documentation and the marketing side of things, it's the same song and dance we do with a lot of our functionality. To clarify, you can do many, many things with this feature, which is why it has a name that doesn't map one-to-one with every framework out there.
yes.
Yeah, so I think that's important. Like as we talk about the feature to people internally and customers or on social, it's like, hey, you can manage sprints with this new feature. We call it iterations. But I do agree with I like using that term instead of sprints. It's like giving 110%. Yeah, that's not actually possible. Let's try to just do 100%, right? Yeah.
Cool, sounds good. And then John, thanks for pointing out we have the F time boxes channel for all iteration as a feature related conversation, not iteration as a value.
Yeah, I'm so glad I called it time boxes
Yeah.
and I sidestepped this debate entirely. So.
Nice. All right, my last point around workflow, I just wanted to give a heads up that we merged an MR that I submitted around not weighing bugs that we're going to try out. Just a little bit of context, primary reason for it was the majority of time that we spend in fixing bugs is on the investigation. And you can't really accurately weigh a bug until that investigation is done. So it's essentially hard to weigh bugs. So we're going to try just not weighing them for now. Also, in addition to that, we really want to start focusing we want to start focusing velocity on being customer value that we produce. Bug fixes don't really qualify in that, especially regressions, because we should have produced that customer value before the bug, if that makes sense. But so we're going to try not weighing bugs, just a heads up that's in there. If it doesn't work in the next release, next milestone or so, we'll go back to weighing them. But for now, feel free to not weigh bugs.
Awesome. Completely agree. I think it's cool.
One thing I think would be really helpful if perhaps, because I know we kind of talked about, like, do you weight them afterwards to kind of get an understanding of time input, and I don't know if I fully agree with that at the moment, but I would say it'd be great if we, at the end of resolving a bug, we can get like a comment or a short discussion on investigation was difficult for these reasons, or maybe key learnings from it, just something to quantify how difficult it was, and maybe then use it as an opportunity to, I don't know, learn something and share it. Just something to give us like, oh, well, okay, hey, we were a little lower on value delivery, but look, we had these bugs and they were difficult for this reason, but we learned this. I don't know, just a thought.
Or perhaps at least have a default value of 1 on each bug, so that appears up in the velocity or how much like it is being worked on at the team level. And then if you need to add more weight to a specific bug, then yeah, with the explanation and so on.
Well, the only reason I'm a little hesitant on that is because then it's kind of artificial, and I think we want to try to avoid that. But
I'm confused. How is it artificial to weigh it after the fact?
no, I thought he said just add like a weight of 1 to all bugs.
Oh,
I wouldn't put any weight on it.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, let's just think through this for a second. Velocity is what? Velocity is the measurement of work performed over time, correct?
Not in the traditional Agile sense. Agile, it's customer. It's basically end user value is the way that it's usually.
Okay, so when we're tracking our team, should we be then tracking velocity as the only metric, or should we also be tracking something like earned value, which is work performed? The point is we need to understand how much throughput the team has. And by taking bugs and not weighing them, we now effectively lose the capacity of knowing what the throughput of the team was for last month. Because going forward, I don't want to plan and say, okay, this is how much velocity we had, so I'm going to plan for that next month and assume we have the same number of bugs. But if the number of bugs goes up or down, now we're planning against an artificial number. We need to plan against throughput and include a margin for bugs if we're not weighting them. Or we need to weigh everything and then plan against throughput.
Well, that's where you use the velocity is basically like if our velocity is going down over time, we're either losing people on the team or we're not delivering customer value, we're delivering more defects. So it's a signal to say basically like, here's how much customer value we can deliver, right? So the features and stuff that we want to build. And if that's going down over time, we can basically like, are we producing more technical debt than we are? Like, and do we need to do something from a quality management standpoint? And so like, I've never weighted bugs on my teams, and I've never had a problem like estimating what work we can get done, because you basically say like, here are the things that I care about from a point standpoint, like in their features. The velocity for last period was X, right? And so then I could say I'm going to do this amount that kind of fits within that. And I usually do 80% of that margin to give myself like 20% of the bandwidth. But I think like at the end of the day, like there's earned value, which is what we ship, but that's like not, you align yourself to value.
Earned value
from
is
the customer statement.
earned
Well-
value has nothing to do with shipping. Earned value has to do with the quantity of work performed over the amount of time they took to do the work. So you earn value by working to a specific cadence, right? So if you say, I'm going to ship 40 units worth of work in 40 hours, and you ship 20, that means your earned value is going to show that you only ship 20 against the hours you worked, which is a problem. That's a performance issue, or it's a estimation issue, or it's a there's all sorts of reasons for it, but it triggers the discussion of, are we being efficient? So it's a measure of efficiency.
Yeah. Would you,
Measure of customer value delivered, and that totally makes sense. And I think we should be tracking velocity, but I would love to track velocity against earned value and understand for every amount of time that we're spending on something, how much customer value do we achieve? That's the ultimate in knowing if we're being efficient as a team, because then we can say, hey, look, we delivered all this velocity and this is how much time we spent, and it was a really good number, meaning we were very efficient in delivering velocity, as opposed to, oh, well, we spent a ton of time, we delivered a little bit of value to the customer. What can we do differently in the planning phase? Are we not breaking down issues? Are we prioritizing the wrong things? That triggers the discussion to ensure that we're operating smoothly.
yeah, I guess I've always had the same discussions with just tracking velocity and not recording bugs, because you get the same, basically get the same byproduct of let's have conversations about stuff and what's working and what's not. And, but I don't have a strong, like, I'm up for experimenting with whatever. So
All right, let's try it without measuring and see what happens. And if we run into issues, well, we'll iterate.
Cool. And yeah, I think this is definitely a good conversation, and we should iterate. So let's try this out for Milestone, see how it works, and then we'll revisit it again in 13.1. All right, Justin.
Take us home. Tomorrow is 12/10 celebration. So I put this in Slack, and as of this morning, including Cormac, sorry, I forgot you, Cormac. Everyone should have it on their calendar. If you don't, I'm forever sorry. I will forward it to you. But I thought we could play, maybe draw something or another Jackbox game like we did for Team Day, Virtual Contribute Team Day a month ago. So there's 2 slots. I'm gonna try and wake up very early my time, or late for the other one, but there's one afternoon my time as well. So should be fun. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thanks for sending that up, Justin. I expect a new Keenan emoji with Gabe's Apple Pen. Cool. Well, that is all that is on the agenda. Anyone have anything else?
I'm going to point out all those were drawn without my Apple Pencil, but since now everybody just assumed I was cheating, I'm going to use my Apple Pencil. So prepare to lose even harder, Donald.
Sure. All right. Last reminder, everyone's off on Friday. I expect to not see any activity in Slack on Friday. Take the day off, spend time with friends and family, virtually, or if people are in your house, All right. Thanks all. See you later.